Hi, everybody. Thank you for tuning into my YouTube channel. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about No Retreat, No Surrender, Part 2. Now, this was supposed to be the first movie that I was ever going to make. I told you before about Yoon Kwai. He came to Los Angeles auditioning for a guy, and I went. He liked me and signed me up. So I was supposed to do this movie with Seasonal Films. Well, it didn't go for about a year and a half, and I was on the cover of a magazine. And Peter Jennings, who was a top newscaster at that time for World News Tonight, his people saw me on the cover of a magazine. So they called me, and I said, yeah, I'm supposed to do this movie in Hong Kong. So they did a little, maybe a 5-minute thing on me on World News Tonight. And I said, yeah, I'm supposed to do this Hong Kong movie, but they haven't called me. And they ended it with me doing a sword saying, look out, Hong Kong, here she comes. Well, Sammo Hung sees this while he's watching World News Tonight in Hong Kong. He calls up Corey Yoon. He says, who is this girl? And he goes, well, that's the girl I picked for, MC Yoon in Seasonal Films. And he says, well, I want to use her. I want to use her in Yes, Madam. So they called me to go out, and I did Yes, Madam. Yes, Madam was a big hit. Now Seasonal Film says, no, wait a minute. We have a contract with her. We want her to do our movie. So that was the second movie I did. No Retreat, No Surrender. My first English-speaking movie. Now, I didn't see the first one, but I knew Jean-Claude Van Damme and Kurt McKinney were in it. So this movie was taking place in Thailand. So I fly out to Thailand, and I meet Yoon Kwai, and he goes, okay. He goes, the character's name, whoever, I don't remember their names, but the character for Kurt McKinney was going to meet me. And he goes, okay, we're going to meet this guy. So I said, okay. So I go to meet him, and all of a sudden he goes, this is, whatever that character's name was. And he goes, and I'm looking, and I'm thinking, wow, how could someone so not look like Kurt McKinney on screen and in person? It's like, I was like just shocked. I was like this, because I knew what Kurt McKinney looked like, and this did not look like Kurt McKinney. It was Lauren Avedon. Well, what happened is right before they were ready to go shoot, Jean-Claude Van Damme got Bloodsport. He didn't want to do the Hong Kong movie. He convinced Kurt McKinney not to do it by saying it's very dangerous over there. Americans can get killed. Don't do it. So Kurt McKinney backed out at the last minute. Both of them did. So they're in a panic. Lauren answers the phone, and they said, we're looking for a guy that can come to Thailand tomorrow and knows good martial arts. And Lauren's like, I do. They go, good, we want you on a plane. Same thing, Matthias Hughes did the Jean-Claude Van Damme part. So that's how they got involved in that film. Now, it was unbelievable shooting there, okay? We're shooting it in Thailand, and I remember one of the first scenes I did is where I'm fighting in the ring. Right? Well, we go to a real Muay Thai place. Now, at this time, remember, you're talking about, this was like 1986. So we go in the gym, and they want to shoot the scene inside the ring. And the guys go, no, we can't let a girl in the ring. Girls do not belong in the boxing ring. And they're like, really? And we're like, oh my God, what century is this? So anyway, we decide we're going to do the scene down on the floor. So I start fighting. And then they're looking, and they're going, she could really fight. Okay, she could fight in the ring. You could fight in there. But she can't go over the ring or through the ring. So if you notice, when I get in, I have to roll underneath the ring to fight. And that's the reason why, is because I was a woman, and I could not go in like the men did. So that was a little interesting fact there. Second thing is, there's a scene where we're in the railroad tracks, and we're in Kanchanaburi, and we're way out in the mountains. We're like, in the middle of nowhere. Our hotel had no air conditioning, right? It was, the only thing they had was a bowling alley. That was all the place had. So we bowled every night. We were there for about like 2 months, right? Going crazy. So we're doing this scene where we're walking across the railroad tracks, and we had a couple different crews there. We had an American crew, we had a Chinese crew, and we had a Thai crew. And there was a lot of not getting along between the crews. So it was a really interesting situation to be in. So To get down to these train tracks, you have to walk down about a mile down a hill. So they have to carry all their equipment down, and then we got to walk up. So we're shooting that scene on the railroad tracks. And the director says, okay, if a train comes, be careful, because make sure you can find a little side on the left to go on the right. So let's do this scene like really, really fast, because if there's no place for you to go and a train comes while we're doing this scene, you're going to get hit, right? So now we're nervous, and they have a stuntman with his ear to the ground listening for a train to come. I never think we messed up our scene so much. I remember I had to say a bowl of veggies, and I was like, a bowl of veggies, and this one was in English. And then Lauren and Max Thayer, they kept messing it up as well. But finally, a train does come, and we found like a little alcove, and there's the train like going by us. It was really, really a dangerous situation to be in. Now, there's also a scene where there is a bug crawling up my chest. All right, they come in that night, or actually, yeah, we were shooting a night scene. They come in, and they have a bucket full of all kinds of poisonous bugs that you can imagine. And they want to put one on me. And they want it to go like this, up to my neck. And I'm thinking, oh my God. And they're like, don't worry, we're going to take the poison out of it. I'm like, how are you going to take the poison out of it? So I don't like bugs, right? So I'm there. They put it on my chest. Choo! It flies up. I'm like, oh my God. It's like, oh, where is it? It's on me, right? So it wouldn't stay there. And of course, it wouldn't listen like on action and then go up slow. So they sewed it alive on my chest. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't like these bugs. It was like one that had like 100 legs. And it was just like sewed there. And it was like going like this. And it was, oh, what a terrible scene. I was so glad when that was over with that scene there. Then there's also a scene where Max Thayer, who actually became a really good friend of mine, he was doing a scene where they cut the snake alive and pour the blood, and he's supposed to drink it. And they wanted him to drink it raw like that. And they're like, ooh, that'll make you nice and virile. So he's like going, oh, okay, I might have a date tonight. I might drink that snake blood. Well, anyway, he goes, I'll do it if you do it all in one shot. So you see in that scene them cutting the snake, the head, pouring it, and Max drinking it. And he really drank it. We're like, oh, what was it? And he was like, oh, it was salty and warm. Oh, so that, yeah, that, I was glad I didn't have to do that scene. It's very, very bizarre stuff shooting there. Then one time, I wasn't in the scene. I left, thank God. But there's a scene where they have a feast of all these like different kinds of strange foods. And Lauren Avedon was telling about it. He was there. And they really did have a monkey, you know, where they cut the head while it was alive and ate the brains. So that really does exist. And I was like, thank God I would cry. I would not be able to be in a scene like that. So that was strange. So that was real, wasn't fake. What else? Wong Jung-lee was in this movie, right? And he was a really hard fighter. And I just remember we were doing that one fight scene, and they gave me a little tiny pad. And I remember Wong Jung-lee was kicking everywhere but that little pad part. And I was like, oh, you're kicking me in the chest. Just put it right here, right here. So I remember that being a really, really tough scene. And also I had to do that scene myself where they, I think it was then I'm fighting with Matthias Hughes, and he kicks me and I go flying back into the walls. And I had a wire on with some kind of like explosive that blew me back. So that was an interesting scene. There's a scene in there where Matthias is dragged along. They couldn't find a stuntman that big. Matthias is like maybe 6'5", right? Blonde hair, big guy. No Chinese stuntmen look like him. So he had to do that by himself. At that time, he wasn't even a martial artist. He was just like an actor. And he did it, and he messed up his back. He hurt his back. Even today, his back is still messed up from that scene. So I just came off of Yes, Madam, and someone told us, they said, you know, whatever they tell you to do, watch the acting, because they have this thing, they'll go, who? Me? like that, and then they'll have you do it. And they go, don't do it, don't do it. And there's also another thing, they go, like that, right? And they said, don't do that. Like you go, what's going on? Like that, right? So don't do those things. So we're telling Matthias, Max and I, Matthias, we're talking, don't do that. And all of a sudden we do this scene and Matthias goes, who? Me in it? And we were dying like, no, you did it. And if you look at that movie, I did not go, but they found somewhere in the film where my eyes opened up and they snuck in that dubbed sound going, that's how it got in there anyway. That was not me doing it. On this movie, I got to play a scene where I die, right? So it was pretty emotional. I'm kind of new at this, right? They put pads on and they put all these explosives on me and they're going to blow it up. I've never had explosives on, especially on my chest. So I'm going, oh my God, I'm praying, please let this go. Well, Max and I became really good friends, but Max was always trying to date me on that film. And I was like, oh, no. So I tell him, I said, okay, when we die, just be careful. Don't be grabbing anything, right? So I die. And he's crying. And Max is a phenomenal actor. He's really into his craft. And all of a sudden, his hands are all over my breast. And he's going, Terry. And I'm dead. And I'm thinking, I am going to kill you. I'm going to kill you, right? So the scene gets done. And I go, Max, I'm going to kill you. I said, you just kept copying all those feels. And he goes, what? I did? I didn't even know that. He was so into the scene. He's like, oh, my God, I missed it. So that was like really funny. I was a helicopter pilot in that movie. They brought us up in these, I don't know if I would have done that now, but these helicopters were these old military helicopters that weren't in good condition and weren't running well and making weird sounds. And we still went up in them. Thank God we landed okay. But yeah, and I have a funny story. I have a friend, Brian Doyle Murray. He's Bill Murray's brother. And we used to hang out a long time ago. And he called me one time. We went to eat, and then we came home, and it was about 2:00 in the morning. And I get a phone call, and that's Brian. And he goes, "Were you a helicopter pilot in Thailand?" I was like, "Yeah, that was me." So it was funny. He saw that movie, and I remember Lauren Avedon picks up a gun. And he starts shooting into the mountains. And Roy Horan, our producer, comes up and goes, what are you doing? What are you doing? You can't do that. You can't do that. It was live rounds in the gun. And he was just shooting it out there into the people. He's like, oh, my God, right? And then I think Yoon Koy and Max Thayer had a little bit of a problem. And they started yelling. And Yoon Koy goes to Max, F you, and Max is F you. I'm going, oh my God, Max, do not leave. Do not leave. We're almost done with this film. If you leave, we'll have to shoot it all over and start all over again. But the movie actually came out pretty good. It's kind of a fun movie. If you look at the poster, I don't like the poster. I have like a horrendous face on it. It's a very strange poster, but it turned out really good. And one more thing about that movie. There's a scene in there where there's like a bunch of elephants. And now we were trying to be very careful of not getting any kind of germs or anything. And we have the scene where an explosion and we have to jump into the water. Well, we were about 2 hours from our hotel and they said, this water is really nasty. It's dirty. As soon as we get done filming, we're going to take you back to the hotel. Make sure you clean up. And the water was green. And we're looking at it going, oh, what is that? Is it moss? Why is it so murky and ugly? All of a sudden we look, there were elephants and buffalo peeing in the water, and they were peeing green. So Shapiro Glickenhaus picked up this film, and we go in to do a little ADR, which is adding some sound in where the sound might not have been good on the set. And they go, we tried to color correct that water. For some reason, it was green. I was like, that was the color of it, And luckily, we didn't get sick because I would say it took them an hour to leave the set and another 2 to get us home. And we had all this like green pea water on us. But it was definitely an interesting shoot. No retreat, no surrender. So a couple funny little stories, a little bit behind the scenes there. So if you haven't checked it out, check it out. I think you could watch it for free on YouTube. And so that's about it. So thank you. I hope you enjoyed the little segment about behind the scenes of No Retreat Surrender. Please like my YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. And also, if you want, you can visit my website, cynthiarothrock.com. A lot of fun things going on there too. So, okay, so we will see you next time. Take care. God bless. Love you guys. Hi, this is Cynthia Rothrock. Thank you for watching my YouTube channel. And if you like the videos, please put a like on it and refer it to your friends.